5 on your side at noon. Focused on you.
Developing at noon, the man accused of shooting a Granite City police officer is now dead, killed in a shootout with police in southern Illinois. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Kay Quinn. It happened after officers chased Donald Freeze in East Cape Girardeau last night. 5 on your side's Christine Byers is here with the very latest information. Christine?
That's right, Kay. That suspect spent 22 hours on the run after police say he shot an officer in Granite City Tuesday night and fled to East Cape Girardeau. It all began just after 10 p.m. Tuesday when Granite City police were called to the 2400 block of Delmar Avenue. When they got there, officers saw Donald Freeze behind a house. They tried to talk to him, and then they got into a scuffle. That's when one of the officers was shot in the arm. Police returned fire and believe he was injured, but Freeze took off. Multiple police agencies, including the U.S. Marshals, then joined in a manhunt. It ended with a pursuit in East Cape Girardeau, Illinois last night when Freeze barricaded himself inside his vehicle after it got stuck in a field. Police say he fired at them and was killed when officers returned fire. Now, Freeze also had a lengthy criminal history, including a murder conviction for intentionally causing a wreck that killed a teenager in Belleville 10 years ago. Kay?
All right, thank you, Christine. Take a look at the man in this picture. The Major K Squad says he's a person of interest in a deadly shooting that happened in Cahokia Heights. Police found the body of Bradford Reedus inside a home on Mildred Avenue Tuesday. Investigators aren't releasing any other details right now, but if you recognize this man, you are asked to call police. Happening today, Donald Trump's appeal to remain on the 2024 ballot is before the Supreme Court. The court is weighing arguments over whether the former president is disqualified from reclaiming the White House because of his role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. The justices will consider a constitutional provision that prevents former office holders who engaged in insurrection from holding office again. Meanwhile, a Chicago judge has allowed a lawsuit to move forward to remove Trump from the Illinois ballot. A hearing on that is set for next week. Tonight, the Francis Howell School Board will discuss a new plan for Black history courses. It's a story we've been following for months. 5 on your side, Sydney Stallworth has more on what we can expect tonight.
Tonight's meeting will break down the district's plan for a new Black history elective for the upcoming school year. This comes after months of controversy spurred by the district's decision to remove Black history and Black literature electives back in December. The public spoke out against this decision, and they'll have another chance to comment tonight at the meeting. It starts at 6:30 at the Francis Howell School Administration Building. The address is right here on your screen. This will be the first reading of the district's adjusted Black history curriculum. Back in December, the school board voted to remove Black history and Black literature electives. The board said this decision was made because the curriculum was connected to the social justice standards, the Teaching Tolerance Anti-Bias Framework by the Southern Poverty Law Center. After pushback from students, the board eventually reinstated the classes, but with some changes. The board says there will be an updated curriculum that's, quote, rigorous and largely politically neutral. Students disagreed with the decision, and many participated in a school walkout at all 3 district high schools just last month. I took an early look at the new Black history course breakdown. The goals are for students to analyze and evaluate the reliability of historical sources, understand multiple perspectives, attitudes, and beliefs when it comes to Black history, and interpret historical knowledge to create, quote, informed judgments. Clearly, still a lot of questions around these changes to Black studies here in the Francis Howell School District, and parents and students can push for answers at tonight's meeting at 6:30. In O'Fallon, Sydney Stallworth, 5 on your side.
10 students at Sumner High School in St. Louis are recovering today after getting sick. School officials tell us while at the school, they ate gummies that may have contained marijuana. 4 students were taken to the hospital yesterday. The other 6 were released to their parents. The school district says another student brought the edibles and bought them at a nearby convenience store. Students at St. Louis University can now apply for financial aid through the school. The university is launching its own program independent from the FAFSA. Right now, problems with the free application for federal student aid called FAFSA FAFSA are causing delays in awarding of scholarships at colleges and universities all around the country. Families still have to file for FAFSA. SLU is also suspending all deadlines for financial aid applications. A Republican-led group trying to restore abortion rights in Missouri is ending its campaign. The group hoped to amend Missouri's constitution to allow abortion up to 12 weeks into pregnancy. After that, abortion would be allowed in cases of rape and incest. With it out of the way, though, a plan backed by Planned Parenthood now has a clearer path forward. It seeks to enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution while allowing lawmakers to regulate it after viability. Vote by mail ballots for the Illinois primary are going out. You can apply for a mail-in ballot right through March 14th. Ballots must be postmarked by March 19th in order to be counted. They can't be dropped off at a polling place, but you can surrender it to an election judge and then vote in person if you like. You can also vote early in person.
And weather-wise, just as expected, that really gusty wind has arrived out there and bringing in some very mild temperatures. We're at 64 right now in St. Louis, but look at the wind gust, about 32 miles an hour in some spots around the metro. I think the last time I checked, it was 36 miles an hour at Lambert. So very gusty out there. That'll continue through the evening, and then the wind relaxes as we get into tonight. Our record high today, 70. That was set back in 1990. Average high 44. So let's see where we are now. And again, some areas clearing very nicely, but downtown St. Louis still has yet to clear completely. But 64 degrees right now and a south wind at 22, a gust over 30 miles an hour. There is some cooler air headed our way for the weekend. It's that second front you see on the map there. Eventually it moves in our direction. I'll tell you what that means for rain chances, which are limited. But more on that coming up in just a bit, Kay?
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Jim. Still ahead, a teacher says a student beat her up. Today, she talks to us about the fight that left her injured and what upsets her the most. And later, the historic moment KSDK went on the air, the trip abroad that led to the decision to make KSD TV the very first television station in St. Louis.